Welcome to Terrific Talk. My name is Tom Anderson. Tom Anderson.
Play to win back the game. Gone. Back, gone. Tom
Anderson.
Great cash, homie. Great cash, homie.
I feel ready to go another 9 innings.
Touchdown!
I feel ready to go another 9 innings.
Touchdown!
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Terrific Talk Podcast. Welcome back, Terrific Talk Podcast.
Here comes the host.
I'm your host, Tom Anderson.
First, behind the bag! It gets through Buckner! Here comes Knight and the Mets win it!
What's up, dude?
So I figured today we need to start the podcast with a bit of controversy from last week's podcast. We got a lot of emails about this and tweets. You called out your wife, Erin, for her TV watching ability.
I did, really badly.
And you got in a little bit of trouble for that. How are you feeling?
You know, it's one of those, we went for a run on Saturday, and, we're big runners, whatever, we went for a run, and it was a brutal run. From a friend's recommendation, we did this run a little bit east of Pasadena, and we ended up climbing like a mountain for 2 miles, and she was miserable. Just because it was like, when I think of running, I was a track athlete. I like to run fast, I like to be flat, and I'll like climb an occasional hill or two, but like to climb a mountain, just not my style.
Yeah.
So she was like, just kind of like, that was terrible. I can't believe we did that. And, we were listening to some of the pod on the way there, and we listened to the rest of it on the way back. And, like, this whole talk of Jack Ryan came up and talking about Breaking Bad, and I'm taking shots, and, like, her face, like, she just starts blinking and, like getting the shock face, rapid blinking, and then she kind of peers over at me, like, out of the side of her eye, and I'm just giggling because I knew this could just press her buttons, and she's like, really? And I was like, oh boy, I'm in trouble. But, she didn't find it too entertaining, but I got a good little chuckle out of it. So, she gave me a little stink eye. It is what it is. It's, I guess, marriage. You sometimes have some fun and press the buttons, but we did hammer through Jack Ryan over the weekend. After Sunday Night Football, we watched 2 episodes. We actually woke up early Monday and knocked out the third one, or the final one, before both of us got off to work. So, she was a champ on there. Maybe she felt the challenge.
She did.
Maybe she accepted the challenge and was just like, I'll show this bastard.
So what happened to me is it all backfired on me, because then my wife, Tori, she goes, Steve talks about his wife on the podcast. Why do you never talk about me on the podcast? So now,
oh man, I wasn't even.
So that came up in the car ride. That came up in the car ride the other day. Yeah, we both got real burned. So I figured I'd give her a shout out today and take a play out of the Steve playbook and say that I'm challenging her to become a better binge watcher, because when I watch shows, I'm the bingiest of bingiest. I want to just hammer through an entire season in like 2 days. Like, I can't stop watching. Tori, on the other hand, loves to watch an episode or two, walk away for like a week and a half, maybe come back, watch another episode, then another week, and then by the end, she's like, I don't even care about that show. I'm kind of sick of it. And I'm just dying. She's like, just watch it without me. And we need to stop that. And Making a Murderer, Volume 2 is coming out, I think, next week. That's the kind of show I just want to go through. Boom, 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 boom.
Plow through.
We're gonna see it. We're gonna see how it goes. Are you confident that we're gonna finish this together?
I think we're gonna get it done. Erin does the same thing. She likes the slow play, whereas me, I'll give a perfect example. The Defiant Ones, which is on HBO.
Really good.
About Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine. Unreal. I literally watched that straight through, start to finish, all 4 of them by myself, knocked them out. I maybe stayed up till 3 a.m. I just couldn't help myself, couldn't get enough. And Erin's ideal situation in that is watch one night, maybe one the next night, maybe take a break night, and again, it draws it out. Whereas I'm with you there, dude. Bingiest of bingy. Just let's knock it out. I can't help myself. I want more. But yeah, Making a Murderer, Aaron was a big fan of that, Volume 1, so we'll definitely hammer through that. We've got to get on this cartoon show on Netflix that some people know about it, and enough of the people that have watched it, and then we bring it up to them that we're fans of it. We just go off this little tangent. It's Big Mouth.
Okay.
It's just so foul and hilarious.
I think Tori might actually watch that. I don't think I've seen it.
Oh yeah,
I'll check it out.
They're 26-minute episodes or something like that, and it's just about it's cartoon kids talking about puberty and doing all that stuff. It's just so hilarious because I'm trying to think of who is in that show. Let's see the cast here. It's Nick Kroll, and I know that Jordan Peele's in it, and it's just, dude, it's
wow.
They don't care, dude. It's so funny.
All right. Big Mouth.
And it never is bad when you're an adult, getting to watch a cartoon again. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like a little kid again.
I need to bring another thing up with you. So Saturday night, I go out in Hoboken, and it was Yankees Red Sox. I was kind of pumped to watch that, and as well as, of course, the McGregor fight. And I was going to go to the Shepherd and the Knucklehead, nice little place in Hoboken, and they had a $20 cover. And I walked up and I was like, how bad do it? Because they were charging to watch the fight. And I passed. I went to a different bar, and I just watched the Yankees Red Sox game. Did I make a mistake there? I want to know how much you would pay to watch that Conor McGregor fight.
Yeah, you made a mistake, I would say. We paid $20 a pop to go and watch watch the fight at a bar in Old Town Pasadena. I actually have a really funny story about this too. So Aaron's been giggling about this and telling everybody from Saturday onward. So we did our run that I talked about. Listen to the pod. I got the stink eye, but then when we got back, we took the dog to the dog park before we went for our run. And she's running around. There's 30 dogs running around. It's chaos. And we go to leave. And when we went to leave the dog park, I ran into a guy that we had met at the dog park the first time we took her. So this is 3 weeks ago when we first got out there. And his name's Vince, and we had just been chatting, and the pleasantries, right? And he came up and he's like, "Yo, Steve, good to see you, man." And I was like, "Yo, dude, what's going on?" He's like, "Are you guys leaving?" And we're like, "Yeah, we've been here for about an hour. We got to take the dog back." And he's like, "Oh, dude, damn, Seth, man, I missed you. What are you doing tonight? Do you like fights?" And I was kind of taken off guard, fights, what the heck? And then, he's like McGregor. I was like, "Oh, yeah, McGregor, yeah, it's awesome." He's like, "Dude, I'm watching. I'm going to go to a bar and watch tonight. You should come out and hang out." And I was kind of like, "All right, cool." He's like, "Here, let me get your number."
Wow.
So Aaron just, was telling, my sisters and my cousins, Steve got a phone number today at the dog park. You know what I mean?
Digits.
So, I took his number, and we're texting, and we were going to go meet him out. Mind you, me being tardy, we were running around, Bed Bath & Beyond.
There's never enough time in the day,
Never enough time in the day. Doing our thing to get the house set. We were getting some pillows and accent pillows, all that fun stuff, right? All the adulting stuff. So, he was going to meet at the Spar at 6:30. He said by the time he got there, it was already packed. He was going to go to this other bar, but they closed. And by the time we got ready and got to that bar that he was at, it was already shut down. They were already at capacity. So we're kind of roaming the streets of Pasadena. We're near the area. We don't know anywhere. We find these two people on the street, and they're like, "Hey, listen, we're going to help you out and find out where you can go watch the fight." So they did some Googling, and they got on the phone. Just two random strangers.
Are these the friendliest people in the world? Where is this?
Friendliest people. It's unbelievable, dude. It's unbelievable. It's not New York, for sure.
West Coast.
So, we go to this bar, Rocco's, and it was standing room only, but it was fun. It was packed. It was $20 to get in, and it was definitely well worth paying the $20. We got some Philly pretzels. We got the Guinness. We were in a good spot. And again, we're just standing in the bars, packed. And we got warmed up with an awesome fight between Anthony Pettis and Tony Ferguson. That was the co-main event. Dude, these dudes were just bloodied and but they were loving it. It was crazy. There was blood pouring down Anthony Pettis' face. Tony Ferguson had Anthony Pettis' blood all over him.
Oh my God.
They're wiping the blood off and screaming and it was wild, dude. It's so entertaining. So I'm kind of dude, McGregor fight and Khabib fight is going to be awesome. And then what does Khabib Nurmagomedov do? He just takes McGregor to the mat and just literally like wrestled him and laid on him the entire time. So it was like, the build up to that fight was awesome. They had some unreal press conferences. But McGregor actually was arrested and faced maybe some jail time because he threw a dolly through a bus and injured people when he was at
really good.
UFC 223 in Brooklyn. It's crazy, right? And the fight, Khabib is a tactician, right? He's great on the mat. He's great when he gets you on your back, and he got McGregor on his back and he submitted him in the 4th round. But again, to that point, this fight was 17 minutes long because it went 17 or 18 minutes long. It went 2 or 3 minutes into the 4th round.
Yep.
And each round's 5 minutes. And I'm not kidding you, they were on the mat in wrestling, college wrestling positions for 12 or 13 minutes of it. And it was just kind of frustrating. It was super tense because I just know how good Khabib is on the mat. I'm he's gonna submit him, he's gonna choke him out, he's gonna choke him out.
Right.
But Conor fought him off, he staved him off. But coming off that other fight where there's blood everywhere, they're beating the hell out of each other, they're boxing, they're fighting, they're doing everything. It kind of in my opinion, was a little bit of a letdown. But any letdown that I had during the fight, it just was superseded post fight because
what was the bar like post fight?
Dude, so everyone was kind of in shock, dude. There were some people that were for Khabib. There was a guy that had one of those white afro puffs that Khabib comes down in. There were some guys next to us that were yeah, shut up, McGregor, he's a punk, this, that, and the other thing. But most, I would say 90% of the people were for McGregor, so they were a little bummed. How it went down. Kind of there was a deflation out when you see Conor tapping, but then Khabib starts screaming at the corner, and Dylan Danis, who is one of McGregor's trainers, I guess is talking shit back to him, and Khabib just jumps the cage and goes after him, and it was everyone's kind of wait, what the hell's going on here? And it was almost the fight after the fight was better than the actual fight,
right?
Because then two guys in Khabib's corner jump in and try to take on McGregor, and then this random dude in a red hoodie jumps the cage and starts punching Conor from behind, and Conor's turning on him and trying to defend himself and keep these guys off of him. So it was just it was pandemonium, dude. It was chaos. And they got it all settled. They had a ton of security guards in the place. The ring, the octagon was full of security guards. Khabib was I want my belt, put my belt on me. Dana White's dude, I cannot put this belt on you in this ring. It is going to be insane. They're going to be throwing every and anything they can at you. So they escort him out. Sure enough, a bunch of Irish dudes douse Khabib with beer and cups and all this, all the stuff as he enters into the tunnel. So it was just mayhem. Dana White, I watched the post-fight press conference. He was mortified almost.
Shocked.
He was dude, I just watched the governor of Nevada sprint out of this building because he was afraid for his life. This is bad.
It's good business.
It was crazy. And Khabib now is apparently going to face fines and suspensions from the Nevada Gaming Commission. This guy, the chairman, Anthony Marnell, is saying that the 3 guys that attacked Conor, they're also going to potentially, they were arrested after the fight. Conor decided not to press charges against him, so they let him go. But this guy, Marnell, is saying that doesn't mean that they're not going to be in trouble. They could face charges of trespassing and disturbing the peace. So it's still up in the air, and it's still kind of crazy. They withheld Khabib's paycheck of $2 million because they're kind of we're reviewing this. He may not get paid. So it is kind of nutty. But part of me wonders in the back of my mind, if again, they have to look into this stuff, and it has to be taken very seriously because with fighting, you can't just let random people jump in the ring and try to fight people, right? But Dana White already said they're not stripping Khabib of his title, and part of me is just wondering all right, is this now going to be the build up for round 2? Because Conor has already talked about wanting a rematch right now, immediately, right away.
Right. Do you want a rematch?
Crazy. Yeah, absolutely. I do want a rematch. Now, the thing going into this is my apprehension is it's just going to be the same thing. Khabib is so good and strong, he's just going to get him to the ground. It's just going to be this wrestling match. I want to see fist, like punches thrown. I want to see blood. I want to see a battle. Like that's what fighting's all about. Now, and I was saying that to Erin, because she, me and her watch it together. Like that's why I like boxing better, because MMA is fun and like it's intense, and these guys like just beat the hell out of each other. But like if you get someone that's just a wrestler, it's kind of just like they're flopping around on the mat basically. Whereas like with boxing, they're trading blows and someone's going to get knocked out. Like you always want to see someone get knocked out. That's like the best, right?
Yeah.
So I do want to see round 2. This fight did amazing numbers. They had over 2 million pay-per-view buys. They were thinking that they could maybe crack 3 million.
Pretty good.
But to put it in perspective, Tyson Holyfield's top pay-per-view buy was just under 2 million buys, so that trumped that. The top 2 buys from the fighting perspective were Mayweather McGregor did 4.3 million buys. Mayweather Pacquiao in 2016 did 4.6 million buys. So not quite to that level. However, if you build up this rivalry, I'm sure they're thinking like, all right, we can approach that 3 million number. We can approach that 3.5 million number and like get paid, man.
All right. So next fight, if there's a rematch, I will spend my blue.
You gotta spend your 20.
I'll spend my Blue Chew money, and we'll go out. All right. I like it. Next up, Patrick Mahomes, still the MVP front runner. How did he do on Sunday, Steve?
That TD monster got his TD, but in a rushing manner, 4 rushes for 13 yards and 1 TD. He did have his first 2 career interceptions. He went 22 for 38, 313 yards, had two INTs, which, you're not going in NFL season without throwing an interception. So, he's 16 touchdowns, total touchdowns rushing and throwing versus 2 turnovers on the year. I mean, they're still amazing numbers. And he's leading the Chiefs 5-0 start. He's still top dog in my book right now. What do you think?
Yeah, he's definitely still top dog in my book. Still undefeated. Love what he's doing. I want to get your take real quick on Thursday night's game. I don't know if you heard, but your Philadelphia Eagles are playing my New York Giants.
We're coming to the Meadowlands, man. Well, I know that you're going to be you're cringing and you're crushed, and part of your Giants soul is ripped out because the Giants did release your boy Flowers. Are you upset?
I don't know why they gave up on him. I don't think they gave him enough opportunities. Yeah, it was tough to see him go.
He just needed that one more chance.
Oh, look, it looks like the Eagles just signed him. Did you see ESPN.com? Huh, that's interesting.
But hey, well, we're going to need to sign a running back. We lost J.J. ACL tear. It's kind of crazy. Like they said during the middle of the game he's leaving for a knee injury, and then he was back on the field. And then like Monday, he had a quote about not understanding some of the offensive play calls. We're running the ball like crazy. Our offensive line is one of the best in the league. We're not playing like one of the best in the league. However, they have some studs on that offensive front. And, he's talking about how they need to run the ball more, this, that, and the other thing. And the next thing I see is, IR, ACL tear. And he's on my fantasy team. So I was just kind of like, what? What the hell just happened there?
I feel like this is a new thing where like guys are playing on torn ACLs. Like that never used to happen, and now that it's happening, how did that happen? They're fine, and then they're like, I'll finish this game out. It's weird.
I'll finish this game out. Yeah, Carson Wentz last year threw a touchdown and beat the Rams
right.
on torn ACL. Crazy. I don't know if it's these guys are wearing braces or they're wearing things equipment-wise better that kind of keeps the knee supported, and then when it comes out, then it goes unstable or what. But yeah, it is more and more of it. Thursday night's game is going to be interesting. I mean, you look at it, and the Eagles should win that one. In my opinion, the NFC East is just a brutal division.
It's awful.
These guys it's just smash mouth football. They don't like each other. So it'll be interesting. And the Giants, you know, even though they took that L,
They should have won that game. They should have won that game.
They should have won that. You know, and that offense is clicking, dude. I mean, you know, do you think that Odell should have a position change? Should he go to QB? Put Eli out the pasture? What do you think?
Here we
I
go.
mean, he's talking how he wants 20 targets a game. Why not just get the ball in your hands every offensive snap, potentially?
Apparently, yeah, that's what Odell wants. He just wants more opportunities, you know? Now that Eric Flowers is out, maybe that'll happen for him. But Odell played an awesome game on Sunday. He was incredible. But that interview is just, come on, Odell, what are you doing? Next to Lil Wayne the whole time, by the way, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Shout out Carter 5.
Yeah, it'll be interesting though. Like with the Eagles moving forward, I mean, we have Wendell Smallwood, Corey Clement that are going to share duty, but even before J.J. went out, there was like the little rumblings at the end of last year about the Eagles making a play for, at the end of last week, Eagles making a play for Le'Veon Bell. Heard some rumblings about LaShawn McCoy making a homecoming because, you know, even though the Buffalo Bills did win this weekend, they still are a dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire leaves.
Sorry. So it'll be interesting to see what this team looks like. We made the move to get Jay last year during midseason, so we're not afraid to make moves. It's not going to happen before Thursday night, but I mean, I'm confident that we can make it, you know, make it happen. And you know, with the L that the Skins took this Monday night, our division is wide open. It's crazy.
I just want to ask you this. I mean, no disrespect. Are the Eagles good?
I mean, my reaction at halftime was I texted my dad and I said, "We are a bad football team." I think that was like a snap, like in the moment text to him. I think they are good. I think they've lost their edge though, man. And I've heard a couple people speak to this, you know, about Lane Johnson last year after we won the Super Bowl, you know, to the tune that I'd rather do it our way and have fun and win, you know, one Super Bowl versus like be robot than win 5 like the Patriots. If that's your prerogative, like I can't change that. But I mean, I like to win, dude. I'm competitive. Like once you have a taste of that, I don't know how you then don't want to continue having that taste of winning. So, you know, yes, you have to have fun and you have to appreciate the moment that you're in. You also have to know that, dude, now that you guys are Super Bowl champs, like the target is on your back every game you play. Mm-hmm. Like everyone wants to take you down. So I just think they lost a little bit of the edge. Maybe losing against the Vikings. Maybe you know, I don't know what kicks that back in, but you know, hopefully a divisional game just kind of gets the blood boiling again. You know, like this will be our first divisional game of the year.
I love this. You're so worried. I can hear it in your voice.
I'm worried, dude. I'm worried. Yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried because and the crazy thing is, like, going into the year, you know, if anything, we just added, we got better, right? Because Carson Wentz was coming back, Jason Peters was coming back, Jordan Hicks was coming back, Darren Sproles was coming back, and Darren Sproles has been hurt, but all those guys have been back, and it's just been a tough team to watch thus far because of just how inconsistent they are. I mean, like, second half against the Vikings, we're rolling, dude. They're like the good old roughing the passer penalties crept up against us, and I know it's crept up. You know, it continues to creep up week in and week out. You know, I look at that, and it's like, could that have cost us the game? You know, Michael Bennett made a big sack on Kirk Cousins. He literally wrapped him up around the ass, like around his butt, and he was getting blocked into him. So, like, obviously, like, kind of fell into his legs, and they called a penalty on him, and it was a third down. We had him stop for a field goal. What do they do? Like, the next play or two, they throw a touchdown. It's kind of like, you know, it's getting a little ridiculous in my opinion. Like, are you just not supposed to tackle the quarterback if you have him queued up for a sack? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we've touched on that before, so we don't have to go into it again. But you know, we did look solid come out in the second half, and you know, I think if we continue with that momentum, you know, we'll be in good shape. But it's been a team that you just don't know what you're going to get week in and week out. So yeah, it does make me nervous. The inconsistency makes me nervous.
Okay, good. That makes me happy. Who are your 3 picks for this week?
The picks, man. It's a tough week for sure. As the teams start to take shape and develop, there were some interesting lines, but also like some tough lines to go with. My first one I'm gonna go with is the Bears. They're at the Dolphins. The Bears are -3, but the Dolphins, I think they have truly shown the team that they are. They got just steamrolled by the Patriots. They were up against the Bengals last week, but then the Bengals came back and ended up beating them by 10. I think the Bears come off the bye feeling fresh and take them out. The next game that I'm going with is the Panthers. They're actually +1 against the Redskins. Now they're in DC.
Weird line.
It's a fishy line, but I just think the Redskins coming off a short week because they played the Saints Monday night. They just got demoralized. I think the Panthers they're gonna ride that nice last second win into DC. I think they'll end up winning that game. So I mean, of course, I looked at it and I'm like, I think the Panthers are going to win that game. So of course I want to pick them getting a point.
Yeah. Sorry, Beasky.
The other one I'm doing the same thing with is the Steelers. A divisional game against Cincinnati, but they're getting 2.5 points. I think this team is starting to click without Le'Veon Bell. Now Le'Veon Bell said he's going to come back during the Week 7 bye, so who knows what's going to happen there. But Big Ben is clicking with Antonio Brown. They had hooked up for 2 touchdowns this past weekend. That offense is rolling. Cincy's tough. They're a really good football team, but I see it being tight. I see the Steelers, eking out the win late. So again, if they're going to get points, I'm gonna ride them and give them a shot. What do you got?
I'm going to start out with a team that you've kind of liked a little bit this season. Aaron Rodgers, Monday Night Football. We saw what Brees did the other night in the prime time. This happens every year. These great quarterbacks, they get put on prime time and they show off their skills. I think Aaron Rodgers goes off against the San Francisco 49ers. The line is 10 points, not scaring me. I like the Packers to win this convincingly. I think Aaron Rodgers has a huge game, and we're all talking about how great Aaron Rodgers is, and he's the best quarterback in the league. Next game I got is an interesting one. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. I kind of like Jacksonville in this spot here. I know the Cowboys need this win, but I think they're getting to the point where they're getting a little bit dysfunctional. You can say that about the Cowboys basically every single year, but it's a lot of weird headlines coming out. Still don't love the way their offense is playing, and you're going up against the Jaguars, who I'm sure are going to be pissed off for the way they played against the Chiefs on Sunday. I like Jacksonville against the Cowboys getting 3 points there. And for my third pick, we are going to go with the Atlanta Falcons, who I think might be the best 1-4 team of all time. Just going to say it. It's incredible that team is 1-4. I think there's definitely going to be a coaching change in Atlanta after this season. I think it's just no doubt about it. How good they were 2 years ago offensively and what's happened. The offense has played better of late, but they're not winning games. Huge disappointing season so far for the Falcons. I like them here, though, against Tampa Bay, -3.5. I like the Falcons to get a win. I don't see them going 1-5. So those are my 3 picks.
Yeah, I took note. That Falcons game caught my eye. Just because Tampa Bay is coming off a bye, but coming off that just brutal loss against the Bears. Jameis is starting again. They'll need a game to kind of get clicking. I think the Bucks. They're supremely talented on offense, but I could see that going your way.
Real quick, power rankings. Who you got?
It caught my eye.
Real quick, power rankings. Yeah.
Through the week. No change at the top 2. Still Rams. Still Chiefs.
Yep.
Both undefeated, obviously. Rams had a game against the Seahawks. I tried to ride them and to cover the points, but they didn't. But they got the win, so they're undefeated. I didn't jinx them like I was hoping I would, so they're 5-0. Eagles got a lot of work to do. I'm gonna give the 3 spot to the Bears. They were idle, so I don't think that they should slip because they didn't play. Fun little factor. 8 teams thus far that have allowed under 100 points. They have the bye week, so obviously they're way under 100, but they've only allowed 65 points this year, so they're averaging up about 16 points a game.
I like the Bears this week too. I'm with you there.
Yeah. I mean they're a solid squad. They'll if they stay healthy, they could be trouble in the playoffs for a lot of teams. Number 4, going with the Pats. We recorded last week's podcast during the game, and we both said they're back. I mean, they're back.
They're back.
They drubbed the Colts. They're 3-0 at home this year, and what did they have coming in on Sunday night? But the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs.
What a game!
It'll be a game, man.
Shootout.
It is crazy. It'll be a shootout. And it's crazy how almost every year there always seems to be a game of a team going into Foxborough a few weeks into the year that's hot, that's clicking on all cylinders. They're like, and everyone probably thinks, are they going to dethrone the Patriots now? And then the Patriots just absolutely maul them.
Yep.
I think the Chiefs are good enough offensively that it's not going to be a mauling, but I think it's going to be a shootout. It's hard to bet against Tom Brady at home though. And then my 5 spot, I'm going to give your squad some love here, bro.
The Giants?
Your other squad, your power rankings favorite squad, the New Orleans Saints.
Finally,
dude. Yeah, I watched that Monday night game. I watched Drew Brees eclipse that mark of eclipse the NFL record mark of most passing yards. He almost got over that hump of 500 touchdowns. They're the number 1 scoring offense in the league. They scored 180 points. And the crazy thing is, a few weeks ago, I know that you had put them in there, and I had a note to kind of challenge you on it, to the fact that, well, they've scored 103 points, but they've given up 104 points, right? Well, in the last 2 weeks, they flipped that point differential, and they're now a plus 40-point differential. So it seems like the defense is starting to tighten up. Nice. If that defense gets humming, they could be challenging, man. What would be interesting would be like a Saints Bears NFC Championship game. I mean, obviously, I don't want that to happen. I want the Eagles in it, but that would just be interesting. This vaunted defense versus this juggernaut of an offense. That would be a fun one.
It would be totally fun.
What do you got? What are your power rankings looking like? I could probably guess your top 2.
Rams, Chiefs. Same every week so far. They're both taking care of business, undefeated. Number 3, I think I gotta bump up my New England Patriots there. They're not my New England Patriots, but yeah, you got Edelman back. Josh Gordon now is catching crazy touchdowns in the end zone. Patriots, they do this every year. They get off to slow starts, then they really start to rattle off the wins. They're looking pretty strong. I still don't think, they're an automatic Super Bowl team, but their regular season right now, they look like a pretty strong team. Number 4, I'm going to go with my Saints. Really loving everything you just said about them. They look strong. And in that 5 spot, even after the bad loss against the Chiefs, I'm not ready to let go of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just can't.
You love these Jags, dude.
I do.
Blake Bortles is your boy.
I just have a feeling. I like the Jags.
Blake Bortles almost became my mortal enemy on Sunday because I was playing. So, we talked a little bit about fantasy last week and how we were both just in dire straits.
Reeling.
And I was playing against Blake, and, he literally had 5 turnovers, 4 picks, a fumble. So, through halftime, he had negative points. And of course, the Chiefs are killing them. So, they're just, running 3 times and punting. And, Blake's just marching down the field because they're not really playing defense. So, he starts racking up these points. And I'm like, I'm going to kill this dude.
He does that.
And he still ended up with 18 points with 5 in my league with 5 turnovers. So, he put up some numbers, but, thank God, man. And I don't know how this happened. I took the lead after the 4 o'clock games, thanks to Carson. Carson Wentz put up, a solid 20 with the turnover, still put up 22, 23 points for me. and I got an advantage of about 20 points against the number one seed in our league, and he had Ezekiel Elliott and Alvin Kamara going. So, like, you think 20-point lead, you're
done.
You're dead in the water. Dude, Alvin Kamara scored 4 points, Zeke scored 9, and I ended up winning. It was unbelievable. I was, like, just giddy on Monday night as, like, Drew Brees is throwing touchdowns to everyone but Alvin Kamara. Was amazing. And Mark Ingram, like, rushed in for 2. So, yeah, dude, I got that win, but I did almost begin to hate Blake Bortles if he kept this. He threw a touchdown at the end of the game. He actually threw a pick to end the game. If he threw a touchdown, he would have been dead to me.
He's like a way less talented Matthew Stafford fantasy quarterback, where he gets you the garbage points at the end.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking at 1-4 right now. It's not good.
You took an L.
Took a bad L, and now we're. I'm basically the Atlanta Falcons of fantasy football. I need a win, or I'm getting fired.
I mean, if you don't win this one, maybe then you just start being a GM, just trade your team around and try to see if you can build something together. I mean, does your league trade often or no?
Every now and then. There's not a ton of trades, but I can make something happen. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So we touched on Drew Brees a little bit. We were talking about Aaron Rodgers a little bit earlier. Obviously, we're talking Brady. Are we never going to see quarterbacks like this generation of quarterbacks? Are we ever going to see that again in our lifetime? Like Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. Is this the greatest run, like 15-year run of quarterbacks that could potentially ever happen in the NFL?
I would say we're not going to see it again because these guys are legit just insane Hall of Famers. But
first ballot. I mean,
easy.
We're saying top 5 of all time, and and not to knock like a guy like Philip Rivers. He's a little bit younger than these guys, but like he's getting into these like all-time stats of like he's like 8th now all-time like passing yards and things like that. So it's actually crazy like this run of years. How now again offense the rules loosening up.
That's what I was just gonna say. That future could be different with stats wise. I mean, we're seeing a lot of 400-yard passing games from like Ryan Fitzpatrick. Things could change stat wise, but just the level of consistency, it's going to be tough to match.
Yeah, it was a cool moment to watch Drew Brees. After that,
yeah,
after he eclipsed that mark, he had his family on the field. He had a big embrace with Sean Payton, and you kind of forget all the things that New Orleans went through before Drew Brees. I was watching, maybe it was Colin Calvert. He's talking about the fact that before Drew Brees, they called them the Aints, and people would go to the stadium with brown paper bags on their heads because they like wanted to be there. They were season ticket holders, but they were embarrassed. So it's kind of like
they were the joke.
To think of the Saints as the joke is kind of hard to remember.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's true.
And they almost moved the franchise after the hurricane, and they stuck it out. And Drew Brees brought in the Super Bowl. I mean, that dude is a legend in that town, probably forever.
Yeah.
They may name the building after him. They'll name a street after him for sure if they haven't already.
Yeah, like the Drew Brees way or something.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Look at that, dude.
Thank you.
I like it.
Oh, NBA. We gotta promote this a little bit. We're gonna do an NBA team over under podcast next Monday. So we're gonna put that out right before the season starts. I've been doing this every year with my man Will Dietz, and this year we gotta love Will. Shout out Will, we love you. Will and you are gonna go head to head this year. All right, we're gonna go through each team. We'll put a clock on you. You guys make your arguments over under team wins for each team, and I will be the judge. I will be the deciding factor. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that.
I love this, dude. I'm pumped for the NBA.
I'm ready.
I love the NFL. Don't get me wrong. Because 16 weeks. It's one game a week. It's a great build up, but I do love the NBA. I'm pumped for the NBA to come back, to be back. Trust the process.
Trust the process, and this could be the Nets' year, and we just don't even know it.
Dude, it's funny. I'm in San Francisco for work, and I was driving through SF, and I saw a guy crossing the street and cross off at a Philadelphia Sixers shirt. It said like Philadelphia basketball, whatever it said on the front of it. And I just yelled out, trust the process. And the guy turned, and without even flinching, TTP. He knew.
Oh my
we're everywhere. We're everywhere, baby.
TTP is a thing? Stop.
TTP, man. Trust the process.
That's so stupid. Ugh. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. But yeah, there's a lot of big expectations in Philly this year. Don't F it up.
I know, man. We have big expectations with football, and look what's happening right now. So, I hope. I know we touched on this a little bit last week with that series against the Celts. I hope that they don't forget that, because I think they went into that series just assuming that they were going to win because the Celts were so shorthanded, and that's pros. That's professional sports. You can't take anyone for granted. You got to be ready on your A game every day. So hopefully these young guys, they're ready to rock and roll. I'm happy that we did. I know that we were in the sweepstakes for LeBron, and if LeBron came, obviously we would probably have been the favorite to make the NBA Finals out of the East. But I'm kind of happy that we didn't get him. I like this team. I like this young core. I would love for them to do it kind of quote-unquote on their own. I know we picked up some pieces here and there, but Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Dario Saric, if Markelle can find a shot, he seems to be playing a little better. I feel like they I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but
I love it.
I feel like they'll be in contention.
We'll get into it next week. I'm going to tell you one thing. One guy I'm really excited to watch this year is Markelle Fultz. I can't wait. I'm all about it. I hope Fultz plays well. I think he's going to play well. I think he's going to be really fun. We'll see. We'll talk Monday.
Talk Monday.
But, yeah, that'll do it for this week. Good luck with your TV watching. I'll let you know how mine goes.
Thank you.
Yep. And,
you as well.
Yeah, say hi to Aaron. And we'll talk next week, all right?
Tori. Miss you, Tori.
Shout out. Tori says hi. We always talk about her here. All right. That'll do it for the Terrific Talk podcast. Thank you for listening. Go subscribe on iTunes. Go follow it on Twitter at Terrific Talk Tom, Instagram at Terrific Talk Tom, and we'll see you next week. All right, Kobe.
TTP.